Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Alan Smith in the UPN 9 News studio. It is a sad and tragic day for America.
Indeed it is. I'm Brenda Blackman. The United Nations was hit by a series of terrorist attacks this morning, which left the World Trade Center destroyed and Washington under siege. The attacks began at 8:45 when a jetliner crashed into the World Trade Center. A second plane crashed into the Twin Towers about 15 minutes later. The crashes left fiery, gaping holes in the 110-story buildings.
And about an hour later after that, there was a huge explosion at the base of the South Tower.
Go against another one. Hours after the attack, many smaller explosions rumbled through downtown.
Yeah, here's one of the guys who can tell you I'm okay, all right? Here, hold on. You want to call your mother or something?
You gotta get back from here.
I know that. You gotta
get back.
All right? Don't worry about me.
For the 82nd floor, and I don't know what my peers are. I don't know. I hope to God they're okay. And so I can say, I don't know what. We saw a shadow, it looked like a plane. Next thing we know, it was boom, boom, and the floor started shaking. And then we saw debris fall down, and next thing we know, we had to get out of the building. We stuck on the stairs for a while. We finally got down to the lobby. Then we get to the lobby, it was this big explosion.
We couldn't find them. We helped the paramedics to work their way down, and the firemen to work their way down because Marlene was hurt on the second level below ground. At that point, we got out because the smoke and the water was getting too heavy. And when I got up to the concourse level, it was just like, you know, like gunfire, and then just three big explosions. And the elevator banks came down, and the windows and the glass and the stainless steel and the marble just started pushing us. We started running to get out of there, and it pushed us through the rubble like 25 to 50 feet. And I wound up hanging by an elevator pit with my hand on a turnstile. When I awoke, when it stopped, I felt someone walk over me, and it was a firefighter. I heard his Scott pack or his tank, and I just reached up and grabbed, you know, for anything going by me, and I grabbed his belt, and he helped me to my feet, and as we went along trying to find our way out to Liberty Street, we just grabbed people along the way, and just said, hold on, don't let go, just, you know, caravan out. Everybody follow each other out. Hold on to each other. I got outside.
I just want to say, I want to ask.
When I got outside, the building come down.
He went through the front door of the ground floor, and the lady who was about 3 seconds in front of him was hit by a terrific fireball, and she was horrifically injured. So we went to her assistance. I think he got some sort of a tablecloth to put over her. As he was doing that, another explosion happened.
Esposito then went back into the building to make sure no one else was inside, not worried of what danger he might face or if the tower would tumble.
I remember an explosion. At that point, I got knocked out. I don't remember anything. Then I got up, and I remember walking out, and it was total darkness in the car doors. And I was at the edge. I was in a dentist office because there was dentist chairs and tools. And I looked out the window because the windows exploded, and the street below caved in. The whole street caved in. You can see below the street. And at that point, there was like fireballs coming up. So I said, all right, I'm not going to make it. I really didn't think I was going to make it.
These women made it all the way from the 50th floor in the World Trade Tower.
We ran down the steps to the lobby. There was no lobby. Everything was torn up.
My boss ran out of the office. He said one thing, run. Everybody just ran. And we ran down the stairs. They told us to come back up the stairs. And we were like, come back up the stairs, are you crazy? So we continued down the stairs. We came outside in the lobby. There was no lobby. The lobby was totally gone.
Did you see other people?
There was a woman there with her face blown off.
We heard a loud explosion coming from the area of Building 2. And at that point, Building 2 was collapsing.
We're getting our gear on and making our way to the stairway. There was a heavy-duty explosion, and everybody just started running for the door. Everybody was trapped. Eventually, when the dust lifted, I saw some light and started screaming for everybody to go out towards the light.
Where? It was an explosion. It was in the lobby, the third explosion. The whole lobby collapsed on us.
What was it like? What was it like?
Horrible.
It's like hell. You don't want to know.
The whole building just collapsed on us.
All of a sudden I heard a roar and I saw one of the towers blow and then collapse and fill the horizon with smoke, and I yelled, oh my God. And I saw from street level as though it had exploded up, a giant rolling ball of flame, and the firefighters screamed, "Run!"
This morning when the first tower collapsed, I was standing about 3 blocks away with CBS News correspondent Mika Brzezinski. As the fireball rolled toward us, Mika grabbed her shoes, I grabbed her hand, and we ran like hell.
After his escape from the South Tower, as Ron DiFrancesco ran away, he was hit by a fireball apparently caused by the building collapsing. He was probably the last person out, alive.
I saw the fireball and heard a loud noise, and that's all I remember. And I woke up 6 days later at St. Vincent's.
As we were moving towards the building, we saw the top begin to blow out in a plume of smoke, and we heard the noise associated with an implosion.
All of a sudden you hear an explosion, and then you could see the building starting to collapse, and then everybody runs up the street.
There was, it was an explosion. It was way up where the fire was, and the whole building at that point bellied out in flames, and everybody ran.
Like a freight train. No, it didn't sound like a freight train. It sounded more like a freight train that was derailed. It was a loud series of booms, similar to the way a train would be when it was derailed if it's hitting the railroad ties. So it was like boom, 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 like that.
4 minutes after getting out, they heard it.
It was like steel bending and creaking. It made this, I can't explain the sound, but it's like, it was an eerie sound.
And we heard this boom, boom, boom.